In a bid to foster regional development, Swakopmund Mayor Blasius Goraseb, who assumed office in November 2024, paid a courtesy visit to the Erongo Regional Council last week. The meeting focused on upgrading settlements like Uis and Otjimbingwe to local authority status, a move seen as critical to bolstering governance and service delivery in these areas. During the discussion, Erongo Regional Council Chief Executive Officer Mupenzeni Ntelamo highlighted the importance of leveraging opportunities to market settlements such as Uis. He emphasized the upcoming Uis Investors Conference slated for March in Swakopmund as a key platform to attract investment and spur development. Mayor Goraseb expressed concern over the deteriorating state of government-owned buildings in Swakopmund, urging for the refurbishment to enhance public service delivery. In response, Chief Regional Officer Ntelamo announced plans for the council to develop a comprehensive catalogue of regional needs. This tool is expected to streamline source allocation and address pressing issues more effectively. The meeting concluded with a renowned commitment to stronger collaboration between the Swakopmund municipality and the Erongo Regional Council. Both parties agreed that unified efforts are essential to driving sustainable growth and improving the quality of life for communities across the region. As Erongo prepares for the Investor Conference and broader regional initiatives, this partnership aims to lay the groundwork for inclusive development and lasting progress.
We must change the way we look at the sea, because the sea very soon may be our only source of water in this country.
Without doubt.
And since we took office in November, 29th of November last year, I had a couple of stakeholders who visited already, just courtesy visit to the office of the mayor.
Sure.
And some of these people are talking desalination.
Yes.
And then they are saying our water pipes from the desalination plant is already running to Arandes. What if we just extend it further down to Kariba and then feed Omaruru and then like that?
Precisely.
That kind of, so that thinking from the private sector is already there.
If we can tap from the sea, obviously we will not go wrong.
Yes.
I was very lucky, I went to Cape Verde.
Yeah.
Cape Verde is just an island in the middle of nowhere, in the Atlantic Ocean. And they use 99% of their water is actually desalinated.
Yeah.
Your Worship, welcome to the Erongo Regional Council.
Thank you so much for
Yes, and we are very privileged that you chose to visit us on the second month in office. We are very grateful, and I think there's so much there's so much support we are receiving from the municipality. You've heard about Swakopmund, which is managed by the Regional Council. It's 30 kilometers from here. All the services plans are approved by the Swakopmund municipality, and this is something that we really greatly appreciate. Okay. And then at some point, I think we ran out of. We do tanker service. We do tanker service in Swakopmund. It's quite a costly exercise. Okay. But then when our tankers breaks down, we actually get the support from the municipality. We have 4 settlements. Swakopmund, Uis, Okombaye, and Otjimbingwe. These are areas that are actually settlements, but ultimately they are not supposed to be settlements for life. At some point they need to transition to become either a village council or a town council. But then we are looking at our positioning here in Swakopmund. We will rely so much on the wisdom and knowledge of the local authority here to help us set up some of these settlements to become local authorities. The one that is on the verge of fruition is Uis. Okay. Yes, Uis. There's so much that has gone on there, and we've already reached out to the ministry to grant us permission that to elevate it actually to a local authority status. Okay. But then there are so many things that we still need to address. It's issues of land, issues of management. What do we want Uis to look like if it's granted that status?
So the next level for Uis is village council?
Village council local authority, although we are really pushing for it to be a town.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I've gone around the country, and I think Uis looks much better than some of the towns that I visited. which are actually towns, not even settlements. Yes. So we have built up a number of things that we are going to be working on. In March, we'll have an investors conference where we just want to focus on Uis.
Will it be in Uis?
It's going to be in Swakopmund. Yes, because there are no facilities in Uis. So we plan to have the conference here just to market the place and see how much and what we can get from local investors. Your prep stores, your ShopRite, Yusef, some of these entities, they can actually boost the economic outlook of the town. And then we also have a gala dinner that will speak to the same. Because if we are granted the status, obviously we need a seed capital to start running things and all that. So the model that I'm looking at a model that will mirror the operations of Swakopmund. It's actually, I think everyone aspires, or they are very happy with the way the Swakopmund town is run politically, administratively, and all that. We also took note of the last cry from the Swakopmund municipality government, buildings that are dilapidated. We are working on that.
Thank you so much.
I think there are quite a number of renovations if you've gone through the city.
Especially the hostels.
Especially the hostels. Yes, and again, it's the issue of the resources, your worship. If things were to go our way, obviously we would have wanted to get billions so that we renovate everything that is there, so that the outlook of the town, gives you that, the clear look of what people want to see. So those are some of the things that I wanted to bring to your attention, and I think we'll unpack more when we meet the colleagues downstairs. We get the contentious 5% from the local authorities, and I should say the municipality of Swakopmund has been one of the top notch. They don't miss. And what we are
we not in arrears?
No, you're not in arrears. You're always on time. And one thing that we have done here since I arrived, we have made sure that we account for it, and then you see what we are doing. This last year, when we presented our budget for this current financial year, we called all the stakeholders, including the Swakopmund municipality, to share with them what we have done with the 5%. So that is actually our own way of making sure that we are accountable for what you provide. So it's not in vain. Yes, if you go around the constituencies, we are really making inroads.
The other thing that we are looking very seriously into now is how we can reduce our OPEX and then improve efficiency. Yesterday, Mr. Martin from Coastal mentioned something very interesting when I just paid him a courtesy visit yesterday. Right. He says he's in contact with someone from Germany. They are looking to put solar panels on the roofs of that school. For renewable energy. If we can reduce the energy bill of the school, that little saving there, that will reduce the budget and then make resources available for more other projects. That's the kind of thinking that we are encouraging. So the 5% is fine, but how do we find ways where we can, for instance, with that renewable energy thing? Let's put them on our schools, reduce the electricity bill.
This is something that we are starting on a clean sheet this year. Yes. We want to come up with a catalogue of the needs of the region, particularly prioritizing education. What is it that we can do, and where do we need the private sector to join? We have the resources, but they are not enough. Yes, but if we have a catalogue of those needs, then it's easier to say if CSR X comes in, you know where to spend it.
For us as the municipality, we are fighting urban encroachment. Now, and the way to fight urban encroachment is to help develop settlements in regions. Precisely. So that when you bring services to the people there, they don't need to flock here. Because when they flock here, they put pressure on systems and infrastructure.
We looked at areas that we can collaborate. We were looking at shared resources and expertise. We know that local authorities have various expertise, so our regional councils with limited capacity, and that will enhance resources efficiency. And then we're also looking at pressing needs of infrastructure, such as land delivery and housing, and how we can align our development plans as a local authority and regional council towards Vision 30, and then with the new development plan 6 that is coming up, and how we can promote integrated planning within the region, that as the local authorities are functioning within the region, so we don't duplicate efforts. What are the areas of collaborations that we are looking at? First, housing and land delivery, Your Worship, that is one of the key areas that we are looking at. Build together programs. What can we learn from, for example, Swakopmund municipality that we can replicate in our settlements? Various housing models apart from build together that we can look into, and equally also alternative building materials that we can, instead of more conventional building materials that we can look at, which the municipality might be doing research on. And then, of course, Erongo Regional Council operates in Swakopmund municipal area, so there is also a pressing need of housing for the staff, to create an enabling environment for the staff more conducive to be able to come to work from within the Swakopmund boundaries. The second area of collaboration that we are looking at is the infrastructure development initiatives. That is the shared water and sanitation. Some of our constituencies within the Swakopmund boundaries, and we have some developmental projects in our constituencies. So we'd want to see how we can collaborate to enhance on the sanitation, especially and housing infrastructure in those urban constituencies. And also to collaborate on renewable energy initiatives. We know that there are talks of green hydrogen, there are talks of desalination. So Swakopmund is one of the main municipalities in the region, how we can collaborate together with the regional council. The third area is the economic and social progression. How can we together improve the SME and SMME initiatives? As Your Worship may know, there are delegated functions within the region which are delegated from national government to regional council. There are reporting to the regional council. So how can we, together with the relevant departments in the municipality, enhance the SME development locally, and then also collaboration on tourism and investment promotions. Our focus is Swakop is a capital of tourism, that we know, but how can we leverage on that to improve tourism in our settlement? For example, if a tourists pass through Swakop, for example, to Damara Land, they are driving from Uis or Kombahe or Machete. How can we partner with Swakopmund to market and develop our tourism initiatives in those smaller towns? And then addressing health and education towards poverty alleviation. That is how we can collaborate broadly as government institutions to address the poverty eradication. The last leg is planning and environmental management. Well, there are some collaborations efforts already in place. For example, Floskas bargain building plans are being approved by Swakopmund municipality. We are thankful for that. But how can we improve? We've got number of town planners in your offices. We've got one here. We've got number of engineers in your offices. How can we effectively collaborate and be more effective in terms of services delivery, and also share data and researches? As a municipality, you might be doing some studies of which outcomes will be able to help us as a regional council in our initiatives and planning. So we more or less more technical collaboration we'd also want. We don't want to go inside Swakopmund municipality, but if there's information that can help us, and also from our end that we can share for better management. And the last is the waste management and coastal preservation efforts. We know that solid waste management is an issue, largely being ignored in the past. Swakopmund is doing well in terms of planning. The plans that you have if we could collaborate so that we can also replicate the same in our settlements, and also collectively we are initiating a regional structure plan. But we know that Swakopmund municipality was the first local authority to have an approved structure plan. Areas that we can learn and share as we are embarking on this journey. Frameworks, how do we want to initiate this? Of course, there can be short-term, medium, and long-term. Ultimately, the long-term is if you could enter into your MOU, but that will take time. We know your worship will also report back, and maybe we can see. But for now, can we perhaps look beyond the statutory requirements? We know that as a local authority, when it's time for budgeting, you come and do the budget presentations, RDCC meetings. Those are statutory requirements, but we appreciate such facets, and if we could reinforce on this facet to have more regular engagement, and also with the regional leadership, including Swakopmund municipality. As a medium, we can see if we could establish a steering committees to look into areas that we can improve collaboration, such as the infrastructure developments which I have mentioned earlier, and then also health and education. What is the role that the municipality can play beyond what the regional council is doing through the education directorate that can improve our education system, for example. Our health system through the health directorate is doing what is it that the Swakopmund municipality can do, and what we can bring to fore from the regional council for us to have an improved regional performance. And having said that, in conclusion, our collaborative efforts can only improve capacity in terms of what we are already providing in terms of leadership, management, and forward planning. It can only improve the well-being of the community and social progression, and improve services delivery if we could share resources effectively and efficiently, and sustainable development. We need to improve on collectively on the SME sector. What we can together do will of course help the SME and address the issues of unemployment in the region. Having said that, together we can achieve shared goals and improve quality of life for all. Thank you very much.
My name is Blasius Goraseb, as was rightly said, and born and raised in Keetmanshoop. I lived in Bandung for 10 years. I worked for Empower before I joined Erongo Regional, and I've been in ICT mostly as it pertains to careers. So I'm tech savvy, and I am for technology and development enabled by technology. I have been working with Erongo Regional now for the past 17 years. I set up the Erongo Regional ICT department. I was the first employee in the ICT department. What you see today was brought there by myself. Later on, some other people joined. It's now a team of 5. We have 13 regional offices as for Erongo Regional, and all of them connects to the head office. And but that's about the professional side of things. I have done a BCom, majoring in IT, project management and business management, MBA in public service management. From the side of council, we are thankful, Mr. Ntelamo and team, for having afforded us this opportunity to come and just say hi from our side, and just share briefly with you more or less the line of thinking as to when we, in the next 10 months that we have. Yes, and then we really appreciate the partnership that has existed for many years between Swakopmund Municipal Council and the Erongo Regional Council. So one of the focal areas is stakeholder engagement, without which we cannot do anything. The recipe for failure is trying to do everything yourself. Sure. It's certainly a recipe for failure. So our stakeholders, from NGOs to private sector to government agencies, that's where our focus has started. So as early as December, we already started engaging some of the key stakeholders in the area and in the region, so that we can discuss and brainstorm more or less about where we are taking Swakopmund in the region. So So we said, no, before we move even out of Swakopmund and before we started getting really involved, let's come to the big brother here and meet the people, and also just say we really every effort that the ERC is doing. And I was last week at the Johannesburg airport, and while we were waiting to board, there was a small truck that caught my attention. But there was this big Boeing about to take off, and everybody was just talking about the Boeing and how nice it is, how luxurious it is. But then there was this little truck that hooked itself to the front of the Boeing and then pushed it back with those 300 and how many passengers and weight and everything. And then it came to my realization that if it was not for that little truck, which nobody is talking about, it doesn't even have a proper name, it's not properly branded, it looks useless. But then without that little truck pushing that Boeing backward, it's not going anywhere. So many a times, and this is, I'm borrowing this from Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma says we must lead without a title. Many a times people do not necessarily say thank you and well done, but even in the absence thereof, you must be able to walk with integrity and pride, as if people are clapping for you. So it's not always that we come and say thank you for what you're doing. Somebody sees it, it does not go unnoticed. But then without even that, you must be able to function at peak. Yeah, because that little truck, it doesn't catch anybody's attention. But the importance of the task that it does. So even if it is just facilitating something here and there through your office, it means something, and it has a ripple effect to those outside there. So continue to do the good work that we are doing, and do so with dignity and pride. So some of the focal areas, I think in terms of tourism, Swakopmund has established itself as a respectable figure. Just now in December, when we were launching the roadblock, we had people from Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, all over the world. People are coming to Swakopmund. But then we want to shift the focus a little bit, because it has been always Easter and December mostly. But now, if you have been following our transitioning now and our rebranding, you will notice that we are saying now City of Adventure. The idea is that we have all-round adventure in Swakopmund that will continue to draw people to our beautiful city. So in line of that, I think in terms of tourism, that is something that we continuously work and nurture on. And through the presentation, I can see that yes, it is a joint effort for us to go to both market Swakopmund, but now the region also. So the presentation has actually opened my mind, not only to think within the boundaries and the confinements of Swakopmund, but to think in terms of the region. Because sometimes when you are in there, you think Swakopmund only, but then this kind of engagements opens the mind a little bit. Yeah, so tourism we are working on, but then we are saying, all right, in terms of tourism, why don't we diversify our economy even further and opening it up to education. This is why we are handing out land left, right, and center to universities. As you may know, University, the Real University at a groundbreaking. We are waiting for them to start construction. IUM is almost completing the research center. But then we have also allocated land for a university in Kramersdorp site. So we are expecting a university to come up there as well. Our children, when they go to Windhoek to study, they struggle with accommodation. And we pay more money on accommodation than tuition fees. And I mean, the Erongo region in Swakopmund, I mean, we are big enough now.
Sure.
Why can't we take care of ourselves when it comes to that? So we don't want just a normal replication of another NAST or another UNAM. But we are thinking in terms of how the university can specialize in oceanology, because we have the ocean here, and marine studies and marine biology and those kind of things, so that we specialize with what we have. Yeah. So yes, that is one for education. It's one of the priority areas for council. We have a separate pillar for that on our strategic plan. But not only education, we are also looking at agriculture, because we all know that we are challenged with food security as a country, and the UN has actually declared Namibia as a food security hotspot. Yeah. And that if that does not spark something within us, then I don't know on which planet we live. But the reality is we are food insecure as this country, and we have a couple of plots, agricultural plots as the municipality, and we have partnered now with Roots Agricultural Project in Stanbridge. I don't know whether you had the privilege of visiting there. There is something happening in Stanbridge that is good for the country. If we can replicate what Stanbridge had done, then we could win the fight against food insecurity. We are promoting backyard gardening and urban agriculture, and we are also now thinking along the lines of having grey water to the respective gardens, so that if you want to have a garden, you could feed that from grey water and so on. So, but in terms of agriculture, we are doing some things, and then good things are coming to Swakopmund around it. But then I've learned now that I must not only say Swakopmund, but I must say Swakopmund and the region.
The region, yes.
So whenever we have a model that can be replicated, and we have perhaps good land somewhere, then we could always think about how we can bring those developmental ideas to the region. But then safety is becoming a concern. For our residents, visitors and tourists in Swakopmund. Swakopmund is not safe anymore. You cannot walk at night in Swakopmund. Certain areas are just becoming no-go areas in Swakopmund. So this thing is bothering us as the leadership of the town.
Sure.
We are engaging stakeholders, and I think we have some commitment already from one of the key stakeholders for CCTV cameras. We are looking at investing approximately about 7 million for CCTV cameras. But now I'm saying, should we really put that money there? What if we put that money back in the community, so that we create things that will keep people busy, and small businesses, and support small hustles, and get as much as possible people busy, so that everybody will have his own business going. You know, I'm thinking along those. Should we really put that money, you know, in cameras? But then we are still deliberating on those. Yes, we need the safety, but then if we can address the social ills, I'm expecting crime to reduce.
Sure.
Yeah. So maybe realignment of resources, but then safety is one that we are addressing seriously. What we are finding is that the Erongo is trying to put up cameras because they are trying to protect the electricity network. People want houses and plots, but when we say, all right, let's prepare the land, and then open the earth, and then we put water and electricity underneath, then tomorrow someone else comes and privatizes the electricity cable and sells them off to the scrapyard. And just on redoing of already developed areas, Erongo spent 3 million in a single year. Now imagine how many plots we could have serviced with that kind of work. Yeah. So that is a challenge. So they are putting up cameras. Neighborhood Watch is putting up cameras, and I don't know whether you have noticed that the robots now, traffic lights, there are cameras there. I think that's council initiative. But then we are trying to coordinate so that we don't have a mixture of cameras that everybody owns a little, but there must be a coordinated effort around it. But that is something we are still working on. And then I think we have a good chance of elevating Swakopmund to become the sports hub. We had the Africa Netball Cup that we hosted now in December here. There was athletics training that was happening here. And athletics and sports is the potential to draw large crowds from everywhere. And that brings with itself the economic spin-offs and so on for our local community. So we are looking to position ourselves. I think through our sports office, we are now talking to NFA and the like, so that we can upgrade some of our sports facilities and then go into a bid for the next newspaper cup. I think as early as next year. I think this year it will be in Ocho, but we are trying to upgrade our facilities so that we are able to bid for it, so that we can get as many sports activities as possible. I had a very interesting discussion with some delegates from South Korea in December, and they are saying, you have the dome here and you think it is big, but you actually have nothing that can handle large conventions. So they are looking at the Cape Town Convention Center type of a thing that they want to put down, but that is, I think NIPDB it is at that level. It is not yet at our level.
Sure.
But I think Manduk is competing with us on that one. That's why I'm tapping off the ERC so that we can help it pull it to this side. Because so that if we can have something at the level of Cape Town Convention Center, then we are able to take large conventions, and accommodate those kind of conferences. At the moment, we only have the dome, and we are right now already in terms of hospitality. People book from Manduk and already they can't find hotels. Hotels are fully booked. Guest houses are fully booked because of the oil and gas sector that is now picking up. So even as we sit around this room, Mr. Ntelamo, us Swakopmunders must position ourselves, get a piece of land, build a guest house if you can, do your side hustle. That's what I'm saying. Don't wait for government to pay you end of the month. Have your rooms here by the side that you are renting out, because we are seriously running out of beds in Swakopmund. Another area where you can possibly invest is in the areas of medical, our hospital beds. There's a challenge there. If you have an entrepreneurial cousin in the family, think about hospitals. I have to put it out there, because we meet potential investors, and people are coming from far and they see potential here, while we are here around these tables. So we need to also flex our minds around how we can help ourselves and so on. So yes, we are growing our local economy. This is the backbone of a thriving community, and therefore we prioritize initiatives that can help the ultra small. Normally we talk about SMEs and then we leave it at SME level. But from the Office of the Mayor, we have started discussions and we have already some of the stakeholders on board, where we want to do this equipment program like the government used to do, I think through the Ministry of Trade, where somebody would say, I want a welding machine, I want this and I want that. So we want to really support those kind of hustles. But sometimes these people are deprived by requirements and paperwork, and we are not registered and this and that. We want to really look past all of those things and then help whoever we can help, so that we can help the ultra small to help themselves. So while we are mentioning this, is because I know that there are also efforts from the government side along those lines for SMEs, so that we do not cross the path, so that we can see how do we coordinate this and how do we work together with this. Some of the mines are already on board, and they have promised us nice things, and we are continuing to advocate so that we can put some more money in the basket and then help as many SMEs as possible, so that we can fight unemployment in our town, because that is also the cause of all the social ills. Another problem that we have, that we are actively fighting, and we need the assistance from the ERC and the ministries, is the issue of substance abuse among the youth. We don't have a rehabilitation center within our region. Oh, I don't know whether we have a facility where we can just send our people, where they can just go and get assisted. Because at the moment, we are trying here and there with prevention and so on, but if somebody is really addicted, where do you take it? People are losing livelihoods. If there's just one person that is addicted, your house will be empty, because they will sell your TV, they will sell your bed, they will do anything, and we are having this in our communities, in Swakopmund. So it's not only the beautiful green gardens, we also have those issues in Swakopmund that we are fighting. So yes, it is meetings such as this one, Mr. Ntelamo, that will generate the ideas. We do not have all the answers to all the questions. There's a council, so that's why we are open to suggestions. We say, I know someone, I know a place. Why don't we try this? Why don't we do that? We are not in a competition.
Sure.
That's why we need to take hands and see how we can forge the development of Swakopmund forward. And then we have the Senior Citizens Market Day. It is a platform for the elderly where they come and market their things. We have the Mayoral Cup tournament, soccer netball. We are looking at expanding that, maybe to involve other sports groups also. We want to make it bigger this year. So please, Mr. Ntelamo, give the people off that Friday so that they can come and play soccer. We have the Junior Town Council that we are trying to equip with leadership skills, and then we continue to engage the community. What I liked, what stood out for me from Mr. Desmond's presentation, Mr. Ntelamo, was shared resources and expertise.
Yes.
Among the many things that he mentioned, let us see how we can exchange. We had a visit to Stanbridge last year, and they said we have a shortage of waste bins. In fact, we don't have waste bins. The houses in Stanbridge do not have a place where we can place the litter. Came back here, mentioned it in council. Council approved for us to donate 700 bins to Stanbridge, which is in Hardap region. But if we don't know, charity starts at home. So now you'll be seeing us on TV handing over bins, and you ask, but we could have put those in
we should have started with us.
Yeah. So shared expertise, resources, let's talk. Yeah, and then when you have these kind of things, let's see what is there, what are the needs. Not that we are not saying we can always answer everything, but then let's see how we can work together and so on. I like the idea of renewable energy and the staff housing need. I had a discussion with the police because when we go to sleep, those are the people that are patrolling our streets, but then they are also challenged with housing.
Yes.
Yeah. So we said to the police, why don't you write a letter to us, to council, so that we can see what we can do in terms of plots and in terms of housing. There's a very long list, waiting list at municipality and NHE. So, but there are ways that we can perhaps say, all right, these are teachers, these are nurses, these are police officers. How do we help these people with plots and so on? Looking at Osona, for instance.
Sure, exactly.
Osona is a resounding success.
Yes, very much.
And that's the target of Osona. Our middle class and working class.
Yes.
That's the target. What stops us from putting up something there?
Like that, yeah.
In the old communities, there was always a nurse in the street. There was a police officer in the street. There was always so when there was an issue, you could go to the nurse, you could go to the police, and just the presence of the police there would already deter some of the crime. That's how we used to live in the past. But maybe we must look at. So if there's housing needs of the staff, if you have 50 people waiting list over, I think Erongo did it in Walbersbach. They wrote to the municipality and said, we have 50 staff. What can you do for us? That kind of thing. So let's bend the rules if we have to for our people, and let's see how we can accommodate. I'm not promising things.
Sure.
What I'm saying is we are open. Don't sit here and suffer in silence. Let's talk and then see how we can help our people. Yeah, evidence-based planning. That's what Mr. Desmond said. Mr. Desmond said, evidence-based planning. I like it when data speaks. It makes our life so much easier. When you can say we have done the study, here are the results, and based on the outcome of the study, this is what we propose. So that is what I like so much about the and then supporting SMEs and various housing options and so on. Yeah. So if we can learn, if we can put our weight in Uis, because we have agreed with somebody to say we will help you plan your waste management. It's a small town in the Hardap region. If we can do it there, we will do it here. So we can delegate some of our people, experts, to go and sit there, plan, advise how you can do waste management, for instance. Because development in the areas will mean ease on our side here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, so it's mutual beneficial if we can jointly develop that. So that's about it for me. I think it's enough said. But once again, thank you very much.
From education side, the mayor perhaps knows the performance of the region. We are not doing so well when it comes to the ordinary level. 2023 we were ranked 6th and we dropped to the 9th spot. And when it comes to AS, we were ranked 11 and we retained that ranking. Imagine we only have 14 regions and we are ranked 11. So now I've also realized that we also have a motivational speaker from what you have said. So we will also invite the mayor to motivate the principals and then the learners. So yeah, that's for me for now.
People convene in halls just to talk about the subject without any clear foundation. The why, I think you're a sector, so I think we speak in the same language. The why actually helps you to really get to the solution. So even if we're to think about having a clear interrogation of what really happened with our education system, I think we need to come to that convention with some well-cooked analysis of why
Just ask the one question.
Then we'll get there. Yeah, these things of let's go into a hall and talk about what happened and then closing remarks and then that's it.
Yes.
I don't think we'll get anywhere. So let's plan it. Then I think we will get away. We'll get away and also expound on the stakeholders that we invite. His worship here is a classic example. These are people that we can actually invite, and maybe not a 4-hour meeting. You know, when they talked about the land conference the other year, when the land president was there, it was held over 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. So, and we did not get to a solution, but at least things are happening. I think my colleague from Lens will attest to that. Yeah, the willing buyer, willing seller thing is not working, but there are other mechanisms that are being put in place. So even on the education, I think let's dedicate a day where people would come in and interrogate it and find out why are things not working.
In terms of food security, I think that is really a critical one. And I think the initiative, the stamp read initiative will be great for the urban areas, and perhaps that is where Ministry of Agriculture can also come in and collaborate in terms of extension services, because we do have regional offices, extension officers that are based in Omaruru, and they can also assist in terms of seedlings and some engineering expertise and so forth in terms of that.
Now, that one, the agriculture, what we mean by that is we want to take those 10 agricultural plots in there of 10 hectares each, cut them in small pieces of 1 hectare each. And what we want is if somebody, for instance, say, I want to produce X, then you would be the only one producing X. And then if you say, I want to do chicken meat, then so that we don't have competition, then we want to link the two, Spar and Woolman and what, and have agreements with them for offtake, so that you don't have the problem of where do I go with my produce. You know, that's what we mean with the full circle agricultural economy. So if I can give you middle class people, I love the middle class so much because, you know, Mr. Ntelamo, we are taxed to death in this country. We are actually keeping the economy. And for us, we because we are taxed so much, you know, we barely survive. So if I can give you guys around this table a hint now, prepare yourself to buy one of those small plots, that 1 hectare agricultural plot, and get onto the mainstream economy there. Make sure that you get in there, because there's a boom here in the Erongo region. There's a demand for food and for everything here in this region. You will not have a problem where you're selling your stuff. Prepare yourself, buy that 1 piece of hectare that comes so that you can own it, and then have people there working, and then get onto the mainstream economy. Yeah. So that is coming. We have already taken it through council. It's now for us to have the contractors on site sign, go out the survey and start the process. So it may not materialize in this next 12 months, but then there will be a start.
Sure.
So by the time these are advertised, you know, you already have a background and you are prepared for it.